cherished nature island. Welcome to Roots Connections on Q. Join Dr. Simone Matthew on Q95 as we tap into the life and times and expertise of our nature island Dominicans at home and abroad. From our agriculture and industry to sustainable development, resilience and renewable energy to the music, art, and entertainment industries. Join Dr. Simone Matthew and guests every other Wednesday from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. We examine where they came from, where they have been, where they are now, and how we can move forward together with our brothers and sisters at home and abroad to inspire and elevate our country, our economy, our people, and our youth to achieve excellence and success. Roots Connections on Q every other Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Only on Q95, the big station.
Jacob is calling his children. Pay the price, so we walk. Oh, children, oh, to Zion. Oh, wanna go.
Good evening, Dominica. Good evening to the Caribbean. Good evening to the rest of the world. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, welcome to another episode of Roots Connections on Q, right here on Q95, the big station. This is our number one program for navigating a world where change is the only constant, where we feature the change makers in our community, the visionaries among us, who are not sitting by the sidelines talking about what we should do, but instead they are on the front line walking the talk and showing us what happens when we all turn that passion we have for Dominica into action for the development of our country, our region, and our people around the world. Despite all the challenges and obstacles we continue to face, we continue to witness how quickly the world around us is changing and evolving. So here on Roots Connections, we are committed to engaging with our visionaries as we explore topics such as the changes we should be concerned about, the changes we should be taking advantage of, and what changes we need to make in order to move our Caribbean region and our people at home and abroad forward. And this particular program, we will certainly be looking at the changes we need to make. We're happy to be joined by the founder and supporting cast, we'll call them, of Helping Educate Dominica Youth, HEDY, and those who support this very important mission in Dominica to secure the future of the youth of Dominica by providing our children with backpacks and other school supplies they need in order to be successful. And as the program unfolds, you will start to realize that this particular organization is going so much beyond their original mission of providing backpacks and supplies to students. So they continue to evolve. So that is what I like to see with our organizations. So today we are joined by the founder of Helping Educate Dominica Youth, Ms. Cheryl Plummer. We also have with us Ms. Connie Ofa, Ms. Andrea Charles, as well as Ms. Junella Daniels. So again, welcome to Roots Connections on Q. This is episode number 92, and I am your host, Dr. Simone Matthew. Before we get started, let us remember to pray for our country, Dominica, and all the challenges we continue to face, including the increase in violence on the island and the increase in suicide. As a matter of fact, only today we heard, unfortunately, of yet another suicide in Dominica. And this time, normally we hear of suicides of young men in Dominica. This time, unfortunately, it is the suicide of a 70-year-old lady in Dominica. So very tragic, and we continue to pray. And the sad reality is Dr. Wallace at the psychiatric unit in Dominica is telling us that there are up to seven attempts of Dominicans attempting to take their lives every week. For a small population of only 55 to 60,000 people, that is certainly alarming. So we have to continue to pray for our people, and we have to continue to provide them with hope for a brighter future, which is one of the reasons that I like bringing on organizations such as these, so that we can provide hope this time for our youth. So as always, we are grateful to you, our audience. We look forward to your contributions to the discussion, whether you're joining us on Facebook at Q95 FM Radio or Push Past 10, or you're joining us on YouTube on Q95 area, or you're listening on the radio and you will call in at some point. So don't forget to share the live, click the notification button to find out whenever we go live. Lambi, good evening to you. Thanks as always for being here. Mr. G, the Q95 family, showing our engineer. Thank you so much for everything that you do to keep us connected to our audience. So let's give a very warm Roots Connections welcome to our guests as we thank them for taking time out of their busy schedules to be here. So let us invite them to unmute their mics to tell us their names, who they are, and of course, this being Roots Connection, where in Dominica they are from. And then as they're doing so, I will go ahead and share the live to everyone who is waiting. So Cheryl, let's begin with you. Tell us who you are and what are your connections to Dominica.
Hi, good evening, everyone. On Pushpat,
Push Past 10 and Q95.
10 and Q95. I am Cheryl Plummer. Some of you may know me as Cheryl Emmanuel. I was born in River Street, raised in Pottersville, and I am the CEO and owner of HEDY, meaning helping educate Dominica youth. What else?
That's good. That's good for now. That's good for now.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing that. Let's go over to you, Connie. Let's see if our final guest also joined us now. We're expecting one more person. I'll look out for her. Connie, over to you.
Hi, good night. I'm Connie Francis Offer. I live at Bath Estate.
Ah, my neighbor.
You know that.
Hi, neighbor.
Yes.
And
I live
what
at
is
Bath
it?
Estate, and I'm joining Cheryl tonight to help educate our young people. And she also helps single mothers likewise.
Oh, I'll make a note of
Yeah.
that. Single mothers. Yes. And over to you, June, the Bridge. Let me make sure I call your name correctly. The Bridge Dominica Diaspora Partnership, a very important initiative. And we'll talk a little bit about that later. But June, tell us who you are.
Hi, thanks very much for the invitation to come and support this wonderful woman. Cheryl Plummer, also known as Cheryl Emmanuel, is a childhood friend, but I am not supporting her out of that pure bias. She has just been doing an absolutely phenomenal job for over a decade now with helping educate Dominica youth with the school backpack drives. Now we're moving into really helping schools on a communal basis with a food drive that's coming up as well. She helps single mothers. She helps the elderly. This woman is just phenomenal. I can't say much more. I'm going to make her cry if I continue, so I won't. But I am very happy to be here. My name is Junella Daniels. I am what you call a serial entrepreneur in Dominica. I promote business investment, including real estate in Dominica. But what I've been doing with the Bridge Dominica Diaspora Partnership over the last 15, 16 years is just soft touching the sensitivity and the need for us as a people to come back home somehow, not necessarily like myself, who's relocated back to Dominica, but to come back to be able to virtually do things like this together, support one another, whether we're on island or off island, in the endeavors to essentially help our island move forward as a people, as a community, as different groups.
Yes, excellent. So again, I want to thank everyone for being here. And how I would like to start off this evening is just to give our audience a general sense of what HEDY is all about. So Helping Educate Dominica Youth is a charity dedicated to empowering the youth of Dominica by providing essential supports to underprivileged students. Our mission is to bridge the educational gap by offering basic school supplies, laptops, and financial assistance, ensuring that every child has an equal opportunity to succeed. So here's the history. Since our inception in 2011, we have grown from supporting 75 students island-wide to a comprehensive program that touches the lives of many. Our commitment to education and community development has driven us to expand our initiatives to making a lasting impact. Here are their achievements to date: donated school supplies to numerous primary schools, including Girardel, Atkinson, Woodford Hill, Newtown, Roseau, Mont Prosper, Saint-Sauveur, SDA, Trafalgar, COG Learning Center, Bellevue, Chopin. Wow, that's impressive. Provided laptops to individuals and schools, enhancing access to technology and digital literacy. Sponsored end-of-year school parties, graduation fees, and school fees, alleviating financial burdens on family. Recently sponsored the Easter Tea Party at Roseau Primary and the party for the end of year graduating class at Mont Prosper Primary, bringing joy to the students and their families. Made donations of sports shirts to Convent High School netball team, supporting their athletic endeavors. And here are their new initiatives: launching a food feeding program in Warner and Mont Prosper Primary School starting in September. We have already secured a sponsor for the first 4 months of the program for Mont Prosper Primary and are seeking sponsors for Warner Primary and the remainder of the year for both schools. Support beyond education. Our charity also has a program to support single mothers with a monthly grocery voucher of $300 EC, providing vital assistance to those in need. Since the program's inception in January 2024, we have helped over 20 single mothers. We have also partnered with the Grotto Home and Dominica Infirmary to provide adult diapers to the elderly, improving their quality of life. So their vision is, we believe that every child deserves access to quality education and the opportunity to reach their full potential. We strive to make a lasting impact in the lives of Dominica's youth and communities, fostering a brighter future for generations to come. With the support of our sponsors and donors, we continue to make a difference and bring hope to those who need it most. So guys, I thought it was very important to read this out. And again, Cheryl, thank you for sending it to me, because we can see that this is a program that continues to evolve, continues to do more and more for Dominica. So Cheryl, let me come to you. Why was it important to start this organization?
I saw a need because, especially for the school children, we have a lot of families in Dominica that at that time that couldn't offer the basic needs like a pencil, or just a book, right? And then a lot of people would come to me and ask me for assistance. From growing up, I raised poor. My mom was a single mother. And there are days she would have to cut our pencil in free and sharpen it to give us to go to school. So I know what it is to raise without or little. So I have a lot of friends that was willing to help when I spoke to them about assisting parents and the kids as well, even if it's just a crayon. So when we started in 2011, we did it at Pebbles Park. We did at Pebbles Park. I called DBS. I did an ad on DBS asking for parents to call in or to register, to come to my home to register, so we could help their kids with some basic school supplies. And we got like 75 people register, but then the people that came, what I noticed is not the people that are really in need. So what I did, I started going through the schools, through the principals, to identify the kids that are really in need. And from then, we did different schools, Sansove School, Atkinson School, and then the principal would give us the list of children that we need. And I think it's better to do it like that, because you know why? Most of the parents that I need are not those that listening to the radio, or on FB, seeing where you post, are you in need? But the doing it for the principal, it was easier, um, because they would tell us exactly who we need, and then our targets, who we were targeting would get the school supplies, etc. For the other programs, especially the single mothers, especially we started the single mothers last year, January. And it was because of a friend of mine, she passed last year, that was telling me about a couple single mothers in Mont Prosper with 5 kids, 4 kids, and they couldn't really afford, and stuff like that. So I started doing it we started doing it. We would we would ask them what are their
The needs.
supermarket of choice.
Okay.
In America, they say store. I was trying to figure what would they use in Dominica. What's their supermarket of choice? And then we would buy the vouchers. We started with Astafans and Fresh Market. But then we venture out to Robinson's, Greens, and other places. Because some of the single mothers would tell us Greens, and then we would find out if Greens would do the vouchers, because we don't give them cash. We give them a grocery voucher, and they use it and they shop what they need. We don't give them groceries either, because you don't know if they need flour, if they need rice, or if they need sugar. So if we give them a grocery voucher, that makes it easier for them to shop exactly what they need. For the adult Pampers, Infirmary reached out to me to see if I could assist them with adult Pampers. So the first set I did with Infirmary, I did 12 cartoons.
Wow.
Each cartoon has four packs, and each pack I think has 24. So I did 12 cartoons times 4 times 24, right? And then the last donation I did to Infirmary, I gave them 21 cartoons. I did with Grotto Home as well, and I did with individual elderlies. Some of my friends identified elderlies, in their constituency or their wherever they live, and then we arranged, so they could get the adult diapers or Pampers. What else? Junella,
Yeah, I think that's a good start in terms of giving us an overview of why you got started, and we can see how you're continuing to evolve. But at some point, I hope you don't burn out, because it seems like additional stuff is getting piled on. So it's great to see that you have a good network of support with you. And so I want to go over to the other guests to kind of find out, what is your role with this particular organization? How are you working to support her efforts? So Andrea, let me come over to you. What is your role with what is it? We call it HEDY,
HEDY.
helping HEDY.
HEDY.
Yes. So it's what is your role with them?
Well, good evening, Simone,
Yes.
and good evening to the listeners of Q95 FM. And I must say that I am very proud to stand with Cheryl Plummer and Hades. And part of my role is I also receive the donations. So the donations are sent to me, and I would take it to the various school under the head is helping Educate Dominica Youth part of the program. So I would receive these donations, take them to the various institutions, or to meet with the students, because some students, sometimes they're not at school. Sometimes we have students, like 4 or 5 students belonging to one particular home. So sometimes we would arrange a location to meet with the students, and I would have to give them the backpacks, the books, whatever is sent to me. So I see my role as important because me being a resident in Dominica, and that particularly knows most of the villages, and know a lot of people. So I am happy to be utilized to go out and to hand these people or hand these schools these donations. And there is a school in Wesley known as the Temple SDA, and that was a school to which Mrs. Plummer made some donations of some backpacks and some books, crayons, other utensils. Sorry, and sometimes we do videos of what we do, and we don't do the videos to show off or to boast or to belittle anyone. But we on island, when we receive the donations, we do the videos so Mrs. Plummer can see the joy first on the principals of the schools, the joy on the children when they receive this backpack, because children think, okay, somebody somewhere cares about us. Somebody somewhere is sending us those backpacks and those books, and we are delighted to have them. So one of the things we do in creating our videos is to reflect the true reason for making these donations and to see the joys in the kids who receive them. So that's part of my role.
Yeah, and that's an important role. And I have to say, it takes a lot of trust to be able to be in that particular role. Because even from my own personal experience, trying to do something very similar, where we had a donor who sent shoes to Dominica, and the person we were entrusted with the shoes, the first thing she did was look through the shoes to see what sizes would fit her daughter. And that wasn't the intention. That wasn't the intention. So congratulations to you, Andra, for being a trusted resource on the ground with supporting the work of helping educate Dominica youth. So June, let me come over to you, your role in supporting what Cheryl is doing.
I am exactly like everybody listening now who should really get on board with this particular drive. It is beyond just charitable work. It is the life-saving source for a lot of parents. It is, as Andra said, a smile on the face of a kid that we can do. And often what is missing in the element of our assistance to our island is our diaspora doing that. And so my role in this started off exactly how I want everyone's role, to be a fundraiser. I literally sent a bunch of backpacks. I found a wholesale place, and this is how it just went a little bit ballistic. I found a wholesale place and did a wholesale version. A lot of people are donating, and God bless them. They're buying it at retail, they're buying it at discount. But I really encourage people, especially in the diaspora where we have more access to online things, to be able to look up wholesale backpacks. They even come with like all supplies in it, the books, the notebooks, pencils, crayons, any kind of different utensils the kids need at a various age. So you can get the elementary version, you can get the middle school version, the high school version of these particular backpacks. So it started off like that, and it's just moved into a general support of what Cheryl is doing, because I truly believe what she is doing is beyond charitable work. It is life-changing for a lot of these kids. The difference between having the proper things that you need for school in a country where people are already struggling to even make their basic needs of food, of shelter. And yeah, we are growing as a country and we're getting better, but the fundamental reality of education always has been in Dominica that there are some who have and some who do not. And it is easier for a child to fail simply because they lack resources, not because they lack intelligence, not because they haven't got the ability to get through their schoolwork, but maybe they came to school hungry. Maybe they came to school without a book and a notebook to take the notes from the teacher, to go back home. And of course, we've got laptops now as well, so that's all coming into play. Maybe they don't have access to laptop. Maybe they don't have access to internet. These are very basic things that help a child succeed. So in thinking about all of what Cheryl is doing, I'm bringing forward my passion for education because my background is psychology of education, even though now it's into business, investment, and real estate. But my background is psychology of education. My mother was a teacher. My mother was a teacher both in Dominica and in England. And so watching her as a teacher and seeing how she was with her children beyond a classroom, beyond just marking their papers and giving them work to do. My mother got involved in these children's lives, just as Cheryl is getting involved in these children's lives through helping educate Dominica Youth. So we are trying to facilitate, and I am trying to encourage that as well, through the Bridge Dominica Diaspora Partnership, which has been supporting HEDY and what HEDY is doing on Facebook, as well as through our WhatsApp networks. We've been supporting the vision of this and pushing Cheryl to kind of come on screen a little bit. So
She's here.
as Andrew was saying, we're not taking video to boast or to, make anybody feel bad in what they're doing, but we really want to promote the idea that the diaspora can help Dominica in many ways. And there are trusted individuals and organizations in Dominica that can do this. And so helping educate Dominica Youth is part of that circle, that ecosystem that we want to create as a bridge, literally, between the diaspora and the island. Cheryl herself is now having to be a proud diasporan, not necessarily by choice. She was kind of forced into it, and I'll leave her story to her. But she did not stop. Because she left Ireland, didn't have her leave HEDY behind. She took HEDY and that vision with her. And she is magnifying that from the position in the diaspora now and still engaging people on Ireland. So my role is to encourage others to do the same, to build that vision together. We are the bridge, and we can do this together if we find the right people to build this ecosystem together with. Right. And that includes the people who donate.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot to unpack this evening. Thank you for being here, ladies. Connie, if you can hear me, your role with HEDY. I think her camera is off, so let's see if we have her on. Go ahead.
Okay. Good night again to all our listeners. Well, I came on board late, but I've known Cheryl for many years, and she's doing a wonderful job, especially in the community that I work, Mount Prosper. When we receive our package with the bags and the school supplies, the children, they were very excited. And there are some moms, I guess about two to three moms in the community that she helps with their children. And trust me, they're excited about it. Yeah. And she's doing a wonderful job. And my desire is to continue to help push HEDY, because our children needs the education, our children needs the push to be better people, young women, young men in society. Better young people in society.
Yeah, certainly. So it seems like you have, let's mute Connie. It seems like you have a formidable team, Cheryl. How do you feel about the people who support your vision with what you're doing? Because I'm telling you, having been in positions where I was trying to help and not having that trusting relationship is the greatest challenge of the diaspora, being able to work with our Dominican brothers and sisters at home. But before you answer, let me acknowledge those who are coming in on the Facebook Live. My mom, Medina Senhouse, always great to see you. Mago La Rock, always great to have you on board. Carissa, Pascal, Lawrence, Joseph. Wow, Carissa, you have a lot of names. Great job. Cheryl Plummer, proud of you. Ricardo St. Amy, always great to see you. Ricardo, thank you for being here. But Cheryl, how do you feel that you have such a trusted network of Dominicans in the diaspora as well as on the ground who support your mission?
I feel elated.
Yeah.
I feel I am a very humble person, and I think that's what attracts good people to me. I love people. I'm a lover of people. I'm a lover of life. Even people that hurt me, I love them.
Yes.
So I think once you're positive, once you have a positive kind of outlook on life, you attract positive, you know. And for instance, you know, I have a disability which is above the knee amputation.
Okay.
And if you don't see my leg, you wouldn't know that I am an amputee,
Wow.
you know, because I will come into a room, I don't have to ask you, I'm telling you, and I will light up the room. That's with my personality.
Good for you.
So then I think because of how I am, I attract positive and good people, you know. And
Yeah, and so very important to not get stuck on those you cannot trust, right? But focus on the ones that you can.
let's move on.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know, you do me
Yes.
wrong, I don't hate you, I still talk to you, but I move on,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
because of that, it's easy, you know, to attract. As Connie said, she came on late. Um, she was attracted to what I was doing in Mont Prosper, and she came on it, and she sent me a message on FB, and she's like, you know, I want to be part of this, you know. And she's
Yeah.
such a good part. She came on it, but she's good,
Yeah.
and I appreciate it. And I think these people are sent to me by God because I believe in God. I believe in God, I trust God, and I believe that these people, Andrea is just phenomenal. Junella has been my friend forever and forever. St. Martin's School. I don't even know.
Oh, my alma mater.
Yes.
In
Probably all
the
of us here.
house.
Andrea too. Andrea been my friend forever, but me and Andrea reconnected a couple years ago, like 3 years or 4 years, Andrea, 5 years
Yes,
ago.
about that.
Yes, we reconnected. Connie is new, and Junella is forever. Junella has been my support team forever. No matter what,
Wonderful.
she's always there.
Wonderful.
So these people that are here are my shelter. Check. When my crutches cannot work, they are my crutches. When my wheelchair broken, they are my wheelchair. So, and then there are many others, you know, many others that support me, many others. And I'm so grateful for all those that support me, support my idea, even when sometimes I feel, oh, the time is almost here. And I try to get 100 bags, and the 100 bags not here. What they doing? What they waiting for? And time for tomorrow, they're saying, Cheryl, I ship something to you. Cheryl, you know, you'll be getting 2 cartons of bags in 2 weeks, in a week, in 2 days, you know, expedite it. You know, Cheryl, this, Cheryl, that, Cheryl, that. And I rather, you know, another thing, I rather receive the school items than money, to be honest, because I don't want people to say anything bad about me about money. People, especially
Yep.
Dominican, I'm
Yep.
honest. You know, I rather, that's why I give a link and my address, and they send it to my address. I rather it like that. You know?
And I'm going to provide all that information during the course of the program.
Yes.
But and let's just open up the discussion from now on. So with all that you're doing, I'm just curious, what are your successes and your challenges? Because I'm sure that a program such as what you're doing, yes, you're seeing the successes, but what are some of the challenges you face? You've been now in business for what, 14 years?
Yes.
And what are some of the challenges? And anyone can feel free to chime in as well as we talk about the successes and
One of
challenges of
my
an
main
operation such as
challenges
this.
from the beginning was the shipping and the clearing of the school supplies. But I maneuvered it after so many, well, maybe 3, 4 years. You know, when I started talking to different people in different positions, you know. For the shipping, I usually get people to assist with the shipping, but the clearing, we do not pay to clear the goods because they are charitable goods. So
So are
what?
you're registered in Dominica?
Yes. So what
Oh,
I
that
do
makes a difference.
So what I do really, I don't really clear it on my name though. Let me tell you how I do it so you can understand. I send it to the school. So I send it to the principal, right? I put the principal name, the school's name. The shipping company gives me the receipt. So I would send a copy of the receipt to the school, and they would take it to a Ministry of Education, and Ministry of Education either clears the goods or they give them some paperwork that they can clear the good for free. For Infirmary and Grotto, because they are known for profit as well, I send it to their name. They get some paperwork, I think, from Financial Center, and then they get their pampers, the adult pampers or wheelchairs. I send wheelchairs, I send adult pampers, I send walkers, I send crutches, I send canes, whatever I have. I send what's it again? Andrew, what is it? When you put on the bed for the elderlies.
The bed, the spreadings that you can like a Macintosh sort
Right,
of thing that you can put underneath so they don't wet their sheets or their
right.
mattresses,
I send
like a
those as well.
party, like a party.
Padding, yes, yes. So that was my challenge at the beginning, because I have already paid 500 PC to clear backpacks that I was donating.
Wow.
Because I didn't know the route at that time. Right? So that was one of my hurdles, was to clear the goods on the port.
Yeah, and that is so important that you're sharing this, because I know even in my past experiences trying to do this, that is one of the challenges we face. Because, for Dinah Frampton of blessed memory, I
Yes.
worked with her a couple of years ago where we had backpacks and school supplies to send as well. And knowing for Dinah how beautiful she was, she paid to clear the items from the port. And had we known that if we had sent it to a registered charity on the ground, that could have been, eliminated, that is good. So I think that is very important information that you're sharing with our audience today, because I know that everyone listening all over the world, they're thinking, I would like to contribute to Dominica, but we always have to think about the shipping charges. So forget about trying to send it individually, send it to Cheryl, right? So
Yes.
that way I always talk about the importance of synergy, the importance of bringing our energies together, the importance of not working in silos, because we're all working in silos and we're all starting from scratch. No need to reinvent the wheel. If you have donations that you want to send to Dominica, and I really appreciate, Cheryl, that you said no cash, because that just complicates things. So I'm going to give out your information towards the end of the program so people know how to get in touch with you, because that eliminates a lot of challenges for a lot of folks who
Yes.
wants to make a meaningful contribution to Dominica. But Junella, Andrea, anything you guys would like to share?
Yes, Simone. I want to tonight, highlight Cheryl. One of the major reasons is Cheryl has a disability, but she didn't let that stop her. And the love and care that Cheryl has for people is beyond. Sometimes it overwhelms me, but I keep doing it and I keep being there for her. And one of the amazing things about Cheryl don't like to see children suffer, just like myself. I don't like to see kids suffer. And Cheryl doesn't like to see anybody suffer. So Cheryl will keep going. And Cheryl will call me 12 o'clock in the night. Andrew, we have a single mother there. No money, whatever. We need to do something. Let's put our head. By tomorrow, by the second day, it's already solved. And even we ourselves, we support her any way we can. If we have to contribute ourselves, we do it. And Cheryl is so amazing. She will not stop until she ensures that this particular situation or person that was drawn to her attention is assisted. And when I looked at not too long ago how Cheryl supported and assisted a single mother in a dire situation. And Cheryl did it basically single-handedly. Cheryl will make the calls. And Cheryl will not stop nag you until you say, yes, Cheryl, I in. Because we call her Cheryl, a little pet name. And she'll say, and until we say, yes, Cheryl, okay, yes, Cheryl, no problem, I'm in. And she will discuss the situation and she will see to it that a solution is done. And when I see a woman like Cheryl, she's not rich, and her disability and what Cheryl is capable of, it's amazing. So that in itself, it infatuates me. And that's one of my reasons for being on board with her fully, because if she can do it, two, three, four of us can do it. And I'm glad, Simone, that you're doing this evening, because a lot of people are not aware of what Cheryl does. And it is bringing the awareness. And I'm certain that I'm hoping that the objective of this program is that more people will get on board and
Yes.
assist. And we need the people. We're in Dominica, there's the diasporans, and we need the diasporans to come on board so we can help the less fortunate people in our country. And I'm glad that Sherry is also putting out their venues, because a lot of people say, I want to donate something, but I don't know how to send it, where to send
Right.
it.
Right.
Right. And I being part of healthcare, I'm like a community health aide, and you would be overwhelmed by the amount of folks that would say, we have some medical supplies. To say, how do we get it to you? And now that they've been aware of the ways and means that they can get it here, it will not be only left on Cheryl, but we are hoping that a lot more people could come on board. And Cheryl, I openly letting you know, I'm very happy to have been reconnected with you, Junella as well, and that we can remain knitted together and reach out to the less fortunate. Because when you come and you give a kid a brand new backpack, they're so happy to see the backpack. But then they open the backpack because they realize something jingling in here. And they will browse the boy. Oh, pencil, eraser, sharpener. It's the joy. It's the joy on the kids' faces when they receive these items and they appreciate these items. So I just want to let Cheryl know, girlfriend, what you're doing is beyond, and we appreciate you and we pledge our continued support. And this evening program, I think it will bring the awareness and the assistance that we need to make HEDYs and the single mother donation even bigger and better, because as we know, and as Junella rightly said, the diasporans are willing. They just need to know the know-how and then who to reach out to. So this is an excellent program this evening. Simon, I must commend you for having us. And Cheryl, please just continue what you're doing. We pledge our support with you and all the others who are coming on board. And folks in the diaspora hearing us, we need more people to come on board. We
Yep.
are asking for your assistance, because what we are doing, what Miss Plummer is doing, is very, very, you just have to see some of the videos and you have to see the principals' faces and the teachers, and it's amazing. So our request is hoping that we'll get a lot more diasporans on board.
Yeah, and before I come to Junella and Connie, I want to share Andra's sentiments, because I met Cheryl because we were in a WhatsApp group together of other Dominicans, and she was constantly posting about, donations and the important work that she's doing. And I also follow on Facebook, so I can see what she's doing there as well. And then I saw her in a picture. I think they were honoring women or something. You can correct me, Cheryl. And then I noticed that she was an amputee. And honestly, I was surprised, because I'm thinking, if Cheryl is doing this while being differently able, I don't like the word disabled, but differently able, we as able-bodied people, what is our excuse? What is our excuse that we're not doing just as much as Cheryl? So I really want to share Andra's sentiments and congratulate you, Cheryl, and thank you so much for everything that you're doing despite your own challenges. You could be in a world where you just focus on your challenges and pity me and poor me, but instead you've used it to fuel your drive to provide for other people. So you're really a credit to our community of Dominicans at home and abroad. So, Janella and Connie, we were talking about successes and challenges that HEDY faces. So, if you guys would like to share on that.
Well, one of the big things, as we mentioned, is the lack of trust. Our country has a terrible reputation among our own selves. We can't even blame anybody. It's us.
Yep.
We're the Dominicans doing the dirty on other Dominicans. So this is where it comes into play. Now, can we 100% proof guarantee somebody this is never going to be a problem? No, we cannot. We're imperfect people who are trying to do something great together. The crew that you're seeing in front of you, we're trying to make this accountable in many ways. So Cheryl, for instance, has been doing so much legwork. When she said that the story of this started with 75 people and she detected, okay, some of these people actually don't need what it is they came for. And she wanted to find a way to make sure that the right people got it. This is involving direct contact with schools. Again, the accountability also comes in the shipping. How do you make sure that these donations get to the right people that it was aimed for? Well, the donations are going directly and sent directly to the nominated school. And the nominated school is the one taking care of the shipping costs from customs and clearing the
Clearing, not shipping. We
they're
do
accepting
shipping.
all of it. Yeah.
Yes, we do
So
shipping. They do the clearing. Yeah.
right. So all we end up doing is collecting these bags and supplies, and including medical supplies now, and getting them in a barrel container of some kind and shipping them out. Now, while it is, yes, Cheryl does say that we only receive donations in kind, I do encourage some people to still send cash because it costs money to
Right.
ship these items. It costs money to put them in the container. And it costs transportation for Cheryl to organize all of this to get it where it needs to go. So to some degree, there needs to be some monetary donation. And
Right.
what we would prefer to have in accountability would be a fully set up system where there's patrons who are doing that. So that, you come into this as a sort of partnership with HEDY, and you're the go-to person to pay for the shipping for this particular drive or whatever the case might be. That makes it a little bit easier to trust because then you have accountability. So the difficulty we're having is human beings. We need people to come on board with this vision. It cannot be Cheryl alone. And she's doing a fantastic job. And yes, we can talk about her being an amputee. And oh my goodness, look at how much she's doing, even though she's an amputee. But this has never been any kind of excuse for Cheryl. Cheryl lost that leg and has never acted like an amputee since that leg was lost. I can tell you that as her friend who's known her for almost all my life now. This is not an excuse of why we need the help. She needs the help because she is one human being. We are coming on board as other women in this, but we are still also just one single person, and we're all trying to manage. This is a grand vision for Dominica. It offers Dominica a medium to be able to build an ecosystem for more than just school bags and drives for the elderly. This literally can become an arm for the diaspora to be able to send donations in kind in a manner that becomes more and more accountable. The more that we're doing this, the more that we're doing, the more people that we get involved, the more we can make it more accountable. So it is difficult in the sense that there's not enough human beings. There's not enough donors, and there's not particularly any patrons at the moment. So in terms of the ladies that you see on the screen there, as Andrew is saying, sometimes we have funded these things ourselves. I started off as a fundraiser of this and personally sending wholesale backpacks. I mean, it is not possible for us to do that feasibly on our own. None of us are rich. All we have are the resources that we are, the skills that we are, and we're doing our best to work together. So the hardest part is getting on people on board to see that there is a need for us to build together and for us to build relationship together so that it is viable to do. And when I say our diaspora, I don't just mean America or even Canada. We have people in Europe, we have people in the UK, we have people in Asia.
In Guadeloupe and Martinique and the Caribbean.
We have the region, yes. So it's, if you're not at home and you want to find a way to pay forward at home, contact Cheryl. She will figure out who is the point of contact for you if necessary. If you need some assistance in further networking and you find you haven't been able to contact her, I'm at the Bridge Dominica Diaspora Partnership on Facebook. Feel free to message me. The idea is to build more and more human beings into the system because this is a difficulty that we're having.
Yeah, and I'm happy just to piggyback on a few things that you said, and I'm happy to see UI's radio network is here because that was part of the group. He's part of the group in that WhatsApp group that we were part of, and even with that particular group, I remember seeing pictures of him loading a barrel of school supplies to send to Dominica. So a lot of people are taking on the expense of, having these barrels shipped to Dominica. And then when it gets to customs, someone has to pay to clear it from the customs. So why not route it through Cheryl's organization so that, again, we have that collaborative effort going on. But Connie, is there anything you would like to share at this point? And then the other thing I want to touch on as well, because there was a very impactful program on Q95 today. And one of the observations was, are our men in crisis? So I want to know, are the men in Dominica and the diaspora also involved in an important initiative such as this? Because we also need to ensure that we're roping in our men into important initiatives such as this. So that's going to be the next question for the panel. But before we do that, Connie, you have anything you would like to share at this point?
Okay, I'm not so much of a big talker. I just love doing things.
Okay.
But I would like to highlight Cheryl. Yeah.
It'll make me cry, Papa.
Cheryl, you have your napkin now? You don't start crying?
Oh,
no, don't start crying, Cheryl.
Some tissue.
You deserve it. You deserve it.
Because Cheryl and myself, we talk every day. Sometimes late nights we are on talking. One of these nights she told me she heard me snoring away. But my phone is a story. So but Cheryl is doing a wonderful job. She's doing a wonderful job. And I would like all the diasporans, wherever they are, you don't have to be in Canada, England, US, wherever you are, and you can help, I would like them to come on board. Because that is a good initiative. We can help our people here, especially the children. Yeah, we talk especially the children, because there are lots of children that I need, because I work at a school and I can see them every day.
Yeah, and that is what I was going to ask you, Connie. What do you believe has been the impact? Yeah, because you're in Mount Prosper, right? So what do you think has been the impact of what Cheryl is doing with HEDY in Mount Prosper?
Oh, she's doing waves. I'm telling you, waves, because everybody was excited with their school bag and their school supplies. Everybody, they were excited. Now we are going to do a school feeding program, and I think that is going to come on board in September. So we are asking whoever can hear my voice, wherever they are, to come on board, and let's do that. And that's not the only school that is doing the school feeding program. Yeah, there are other schools in Dominica doing that school feeding program, because some of our students, they will go home at 12 o'clock and they will return sometime. The bell rings at 12, they pray. 5 past 12, they are out of their class. 10 past 12. By 12:15, they are back at school. And you could see in their eyes that they didn't have anything to eat.
Oh boy, that's
anything to eat. But with that school feeding program that will be coming on board in September, it's going to help a lot of children. It's going to help a lot of children. So it's not only the school supplies, but you can send food, as Junella said about the health part of it too, and Andrea said that too. So you can send in whatever, because there are a lot of people that are in need. So HEDY can help. HEDY is helping, and HEDY will continue to help. And I want to big up Cheryl for that. I want to big up Junella. I want to big up Andrew.
Yes, very well said. We have to go over to take the calls in just a minute, but I want us to talk about the role of our men. I think we're now seeing a society in Dominica where men seem to be so detached. Our men and our young boys are so detached from everything. I've done a number of these programs with different organizations out of Dominica, and the majority of the time, the people presented are women. The women are on the forefront. So tell us if there are any men involved in your organization, and if not, what do you believe can be done to encourage men to be to participate more with what you're doing? So, do we have any men involved? Young men, older men?
Well, my husband is involved with me. Um, whilst I was up here, he was in Dominica, helping with the donations wherever we had to donate. He would go to the different places like Bellevue Chope, Atkinson. I think he did Sansove as well. He would also help with the clearing of the goods, transporting them. We have a couple donors that are men. You know, I have a good friend from Florida. He he has been with me forever too, helping with donating school supplies, paying for the shipping sometimes. Then I have this other guy, Dexter. Dexter usually come on to pay for the shipping too, assist with the shipping. So that's those people there are cash. You know, they help me with the shipping. Um, and what else? They share my stuff when you know, whenever I am.
Roots Connections on Q, 8 p.m.
Sorry,
to
guys,
10
just give me
p.m.
one quick
every
minute.
other
Let me just
Wednesday
run
on
this promo.
Q95, the big station. Dominicans journeyed beyond our shores for decades in search of economic opportunities and educational advancement. Many are ready to give back to their cherished nature island. Welcome to Roots Connections on Q. Join Dr. Simone Matthew on Q95 as we tap into the life and times and expertise of our nature island Dominicans, at home and abroad. From our agriculture and industry to sustainable development, resilient and renewable energy, to the music, art, and entertainment industries. Join Dr. Simone Matthew and guests every other Wednesday from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. We examine where they came from, where they have been, where they are now, and how we can move forward together with our brothers and sisters at home and abroad to inspire and elevate our country, our economy, our people, and our youth to achieve excellence and success. Roots Connections on Q, every other Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Only on Q95, the big station.
Yeah, my apology. My apologies. The promo came on too early, but I just wanted to remind everyone that they're listening to Roots Connections on Q, and we are here with a panel including Ms. Cheryl Plummer, Ms. Junella. We also have Connie and Andra, and we are here with Helping Educate Dominica Youth HEDY on their backpack collection drive, and we are talking about how are we watering seeds for progress by supporting our students. So Cheryl, go ahead and continue. We were talking about the importance of having men and young men involved. And then Lambi will come over you to the studio to invite the callers to call in.
I would like to invite more men.
Yes.
I would like to invite more men, not only to contribute school supplies or cash, but to be on the ground, to help with the donations. You know, like all my girls helping me. I need some men. I need some muscles, you know.
But why do we think our men are not so engaged? That is always the question, and anyone can feel free to answer. Why do you think our men, our young men, our older men, why are they so disconnected from important work such as this? Any ideas? Andra?
Well, I was thinking probably they see us as a competition,
Really?
instead of being like a partner and work as a team. Because sometimes men like to, as we know, men like to dominate, they like to be the head, they like to be in charge. And then sometimes if a woman coming in, some of the men feel that, we might empower them. They always say women, because we women, one thing we first, when we decide to do something, we stick to it and we get it done and we want to see it accomplished. So we'll be at it, at it, at it. And some
That's
men
true.
see
That's
that,
true.
yeah. And some men see us as, wanting to overpower. But we really, and my plea tonight is to really ask the men to
Yes.
to come on board, join us. Let's make a team we cannot do it by ourselves, even if we've been doing it for a while. But there comes a time when we need more strength. We need more,
Yes.
more powers. We need that male presence. It's just like if you're running your home. And of course, the father's input is necessary and is much needed. So therefore, we, the women in society, we don't want the men to feel that we are overpowering them. We may have the ideas and we may know how to lay it down, but we need them to help us execute. And
Mhm.
tonight is to the men. Please come on board. Join Headies. Join us. Let's work as a team. We need some strength in there. So the men, please, if you're listening out there, feel free to come on board. We
Yeah,
welcome
and
you.
that's gonna be my challenge to you all as well, to single out men and invite them, because I think many times if men see only women as involved, then you know how our Dominican men are. Oh, that's a woman thing, right? So
Right?
single out, right? Because we need them. We need the men to be actively engaged, especially our young men, right? Because I think that is one of the reasons we're seeing all the violence, all the suicide, because men feel hopeless. They feel like they have no purpose. So this is an important way to give them purpose. And yes, we can talk about all about, oh, the jobs are not available and the jobs are going to the foreigners. And yes, there are bigger issues to contend with. But within our own society, our own communities, we can play a part as well. So my appeal to you as this organization is to single out men in Dominica, in your community, and say, hey, just give me a hand now, right? Just make it very informal, because I get the sense that they don't like formality. So just make it very informal. You have a box, men like to use their strength. Make it very informal. Hey, partner, you can lift that up for me now. Just make it very informal. And then once, the other men see that, hey, oh, Mr. in that way, right? I speak in Dominican. once the other men see that this guy is involved, they're more open to joining in. And that is how we engage our men. That is how we bring them into the fold. And that is how we start to be able to connect with them and to understand everything that is going on with them. So my appeal to you, single out and identify those young men, those older men who have the wisdom, right? To be able to bring them into the fold so that they can be a part. And from now on, anytime I have an organization, I'm going to have that same speech, because I think we all have to do more to really engage our men. So let me come over to you so you can give the numbers and invite the callers. And Facebook, I'm going to read your comments, so keep them coming. And if you're on Facebook and you want to be acknowledged for being here, don't forget to post the message. Just say where you're joining us from, and I will be sure to acknowledge you for being here. Lambi?
Roots Connection and Q. The numbers are as follow: 449-3095, 449-3096, 449-3097, 616-4257. Those are all local numbers. The overseas or international number, 305-432-9624. Let me run those one more time. 449-3095, 449-3096, 449-3097, 616-4257, and 305-432-9624. Back to you, Simon.
Yes, thank you for that. So we have Anthony Simon. Good evening, doctor and panel listening from New York. Nice to see you, Anthony. Shouldn't you be in Atlanta? I guess you're a Dweeven, Anthony. Nice to see you. Let's see who we have again. Lauren Del Sol, Madam Wabduet, Canada, says, I was listening on the radio, but I wanted to check out the faces. Great job, ladies. And then she also says, good information. I sent lots of soccer supplies in the past and had to pay to clear the goods at customs. Exactly what we were just talking about. Carissa Pascal, Cheryl Plummer for meritorious award. I agree. Margot, you're doing God's work, ladies. Thank you, Margot. Chiqueto Thomas, really impressive what you're doing. UI's radio, great conversation. Angela Perusa, Cheryl Plummer, continued blessings. So, guys, thank you for being on the Facebook Live. Don't forget to keep the comments coming. And as I'm reading the comments, Cheryl, one of the things that come to mind as well is working with Coach Maggie Dunstan, because he too is always in need of supplies from overseas. And I'm not sure if he's paying for the fees at the port. So lots of people who want to have that positive impact in Dominica, but using your organization as a conduit, using it as a source to facilitate everything else that we need in Dominica. The possibilities are endless. What do you think?
Well, Mark is my good partner, you know. I
Good,
wouldn't say friend, my partner.
good.
And I spoke to Maggie about that already.
Okay.
I think in the group you saw the picture where he posted of me and him in St. Lucia
Oh no, I missed
um,
that one.
in March when they were playing basketball. I think they had a basketball tournament in
Okay.
St. Lucia. And when I was leaving, I gave him, oh, was it the groceries? I gave him a set of groceries for the guys, because he was going to make breakfast. So I gave him eggs, banana, bread,
Nice, nice, nice.
but I spoke to Maggie about that already, because he said that not the shipment, the shipment before that, where he got some I think balls, basketballs or something, and they charge him like free something to clear the stuff of the port. And I told him that we can work together, so it's up to him, you know.
Yes.
I lend a hand to him, so it's up to him to contact me when he's ready. I'm always willing, and he knows me very well. So if he wants me to help him, I'm always available.
Right, right. That's wonderful because again, you do not know when his shipments are coming in, so
Yes,
the ball is really in his court to let you
exactly.
know
Yes.
what he needs. But anything else anyone wants to share at this point before we start looking at your other programs, because you're doing much more than the backpack drive. You're doing other programs. But before we get into that, anything anyone wants to share at this point, Junella?
I just think it's important just to emphasize that donations are great, but we need consistency. We need patrons. We need people committed to the cause. And yeah, you can say that it can become a gender thing. We need to encourage men. But honestly, human beings just need to get up and understand if you have an ability to do something, whether it's $5, whether it's $500, whether it's $5,000, matters not. Your money gets pulled together. But what we need is a consistency. Cheryl does not need to wait a week before shipments are due out to wonder, are we going to have enough this time of the aim of what we were trying to do. What we need is people who are consistently in the corner, who say, okay, at a monthly basis, I am going to do this. At a quarterly basis, I'm going to do that. And again, it doesn't necessarily have to be cash. People can say, okay, this month I'm going to send 5. And she's just going to spend the entire year collecting these guys. I promise you that. Because when I first began with her, this is literally, she had closets full of bags waiting to get into barrels. She is crazy. I don't know how she fitted all that stuff in her apartment. She just did it. But she is literally waiting for these drives to happen, and then sometimes coming across situations where we're not sure whether it's even worth sending anything that we've got so far. So consistency, patronage, get on board. And yes, gentlemen, if you don't see yourself coming on board on a screen with us, no problem. I mean, pull out your wallet, figure out how to go get wholesale books and bags and medical supplies and send to Cheryl, because she will take them on board. It doesn't have to become a gender thing. It doesn't have to become, let's try to solve that social issue. Because at the end of the day, what HEDY is about is helping educate Dominican youth. It is about principally giving underprivileged children an advantage to be able to succeed in their learning environment. Now, yes, we have the peripheral aspects of now helping the elderly, the grotto. We would love to be able to expand the vision into everything else. But I do want that focus reminded. This is what Cheryl started this vision for, to help children in education having opportunities to succeed. So everyone get on board and see what you can do in commitment, whether it's monthly, whether it's quarterly, whether it's yearly.
Mhm.
What can you consistently do? And what can she consistently rely on and be sure of? This is what helps to drive what else can be done. Because if we know, oh, backpacks are taken care of, no need to worry about,
Right.
sending out social media marketing for that. We're going to focus in on the food drive this time. We can concentrate how we market and manage the movement of marketing and sharing and encouraging the donations and the patronage for everything else. It also helps logistically because Andrew's on ground and Connie's on ground. It also helps logistically for these women to put themselves in place to be able to help, to know when shipments are coming in and what kinds of shipments, who they have to contact. All of these logistical factors are necessary and are part of us knowing who's going to be there consistently. Yes, we all know we have times when we can't do it, no problem. But what can you commit to on a consistent basis? And if you can't commit at this time, you can share.
Mm-hmm.
You can share
Yep.
on social
Click
media,
that share button.
share among your networks.
Yep.
If that's all you can do for the moment,
Absolutely.
that encourage people to be the bridge between the diaspora and Dominica. Because no matter how well we may develop as a nation, the poor we shall have with us always. That's the end of the day. And whether we want to be part of helping underprivileged people or not is not really a matter of question for most people. It's how we do it. And HEDY is how.
Hmm. I like that. Hetty is how. Yeah, but I also, as everyone is contributing, other thoughts are coming to mind, and this is wonderful what you're doing. But as you're getting more and more involved in the community, and you continue to evolve in everything that you're doing, what are some other needs that you're seeing in the community on the ground in Dominica? What are people saying that they need assistance with, in addition to groceries and backpack supplies? I mean, will it come to a point where you guys are maybe helping to pay bills? And then we're going to talk about the implication of all your work as well, because we have to broaden the conversation. So what are the other needs that we're seeing on the ground?
Well, I have helped with this family, well, more than one family, but with housing, not on a big scale, but I have helped with housing, providing housing for this young lady and her 5 kids. And we got some funds. We bought a stove, her gas, we did the setup for the kitchen, and we got 4 beds donated. We bought her mattresses and gave her some um, basic supplies for her home, like sheets and stuff like that. And we got uh, a gentleman on board to pay her rent, to help her with her rent. Um, they gave her a job, NEP. We got her to get a job with NEP to help her family. And we also, like, okay, if I know somebody that, what would I want to use? Like depressed or suicidal, or I have my good friend Delia Coffee. Sometimes I call her and get on board to talk to them, to counsel them a bit. I have my other friends that I would call in terms of housing to ask, if for the government, if they can help with the housing and stuff, you know. What else? So for I have paid school fees,
Mhm.
graduation fees, and then also the tea party, and graduation party. We're doing the graduation party of Mont Prosper for the end of June, I think. We're providing the eats and the drinks. We have agreed to sponsor that. Um, We have done Christmas parties for preschools where we provide gifts. So I ask people to send gifts to me and then I ship it to the school. What else?
Mhm.
Andrea.
Well, that's a lot. Connie, what are some of the other needs? Thank you, Cheryl. What are some of the other needs you're seeing in your community?
Well, as Cheryl mentioned about the housing, I'm a
Mhm,
witness to it.
mhm,
There's a family up Mount Prosper,
mhm,
which she helped getting housing for she and her kids.
mhm.
Okay, her children. I don't want to say kids.
Children, for
She and her
sure.
children,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
they are comfortable. And
Mhm,
right
mhm.
now, I think she went on.
If
She spoke
NEP.
to the people at NEP to get her a job. She's working, so she can pay her little rent, buy her little groceries, and do whatever she can do for her children.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, but some people will say there is no work, but there is work. Some people are just not willing to work,
Mhm.
especially young men. Some of them are just not willing to work, but there is work, enough work, because you look around and you'll see women working. Women love to work, and I believe that's why the men are afraid of us. They are afraid of us, but they need to come on board. They need to
Yeah.
come on board. They need to come on board.
Yeah, and we also
Junella,
need to make it a little bit more less scary for them, right?
yes, yes.
Right? Because we need them.
We need them. We need
We need
them.
them. We
We need them.
absolutely need them,
And
especially
as
when
Junella
children are
said,
involved.
it can be a $5 here, a $10 here, whatever. One, we fill the basket.
Mm-hmm.
It's we to
Mm-hmm.
help each other. We are not rich people, but
Right.
we have to help each other.
Right.
And when you have a heart for human beings, passion to see human beings grow, then things will work.
Yeah, and this is also a general question as well as we talk about all the needs and some of the needs that you are fulfilling through HEDY. It is great, you're helping the less fortunate, but do you also see HEDY playing a role in teaching people to fish? And the reason I say that is because when we did the shoe drive, I actually called it Kudnet 365, teaching our children the spirit of community service every day. So the idea was community service in exchange for the school supplies, because I think what we're seeing in Dominica is an extensive dependency syndrome. So do you also see yourself playing a role in teaching people to fish? And when I say teaching people to fish, it's the Chinese proverb, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day, teach him to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. So do you think that there is a role you can play in teaching Dominicans on the ground the importance of learning to fish? And anyone can feel free to chime in.
Okay, I see there is a rule because there is this young lady that Cheryl, she got a job for her, and she was helping all the time. Hedy was helping her all the time. Then she got a job. She didn't want to do the job.
She didn't want the job.
No,
Interesting.
she rather sit at home and then just receive. She didn't want the job. So there's this other young one that she helped in getting the house and everything and getting the job. And she's on the road working. She's working. Although she has a toddler, but she's finding herself and she's working. She's doing what she has to do for her children to support her family. So all that is like you first of all you help her out. Now you got a job for her. She's working. She can help herself.
Right.
She can help herself.
And
So
that
Hedy's
way,
doing
and that way they
Hedy's
can
doing
give
all that.
back to the organization as well,
Right,
because now
right,
you're on your feet,
right.
right?
Uh-huh.
Thoughts from anybody else?
I think the
Also,
sorry, go
okay,
ahead.
go ahead, Janella.
No, I'm sorry. I think the challenge is that we're just a few people.
Right.
Like I said, it continues to be a large vision that is not well labor funded. So
Right.
we need people on board who would be able to maximize the way this vision is executed. Cheryl is one person trying to manage the full octopus arm of it. We have people on the island trying to assist. But ultimately, for this vision to really do what it is you're saying in terms of this proverbial, teach a man how to fish, that takes human beings getting involved in this
Yep.
ecosystem that has been created.
Yep.
HEDY is the platform, and HEDY needs to be supported by human beings in order for that platform to build a house structure that supports the vision of going beyond charity. Because ultimately, that is the aim. The aim is to allow people access to some kind of support that helps them help themselves. In order to help an underprivileged child in education to maximize their learning, to succeed, as Maslow said, of the hierarchy of needs in education and life itself, a child requires the base level of food, clothing, shelter, even love,
Yep.
to be able to maximize their learning in school. So can you imagine that backpack is more than just a backpack? It is the ability for that child to succeed and do better, to have a better sense of what school is about because they have what is necessary. They're not struggling to have the book, the laptop, the pencil, or whatever it is they need in order to succeed in their learning. They can just fully concentrate on getting those grades, of getting the knowledge, getting the skill set that they need. So for this vision to go beyond that basic charitable,
Yep.
give them the first step into the give them the ability to hold a rod to fish, it takes human beings. So I really encourage the listeners now to get in contact with Cheryl. The links will be provided by Simone. Get in contact with Cheryl and just let her know what it is possible for you to be able to do. Can you get on ground and help Andrea and Connie? Can you get on ground social media wise with me, for instance, because the Bridge Dominica Diaspora Partnership has been supporting the HEDY vision since Cheryl got on board with getting on Facebook. She's a shy and humble person. Nobody will know that because she's very gregarious. But she does not ever want to look like she's seeking attention or trying to do this for her glory. The BPW Dominica just awarded her an award for philanthropy. And I am so glad she did not shy away from
Yeah,
that.
that's why I saw the picture.
She absolutely deserves it, but also HEDY needs the social media marketing that's necessary. So if your skill set is in social media marketing, or you're interested even in learning, because I can show the basic ropes of that to anybody who's interested in learning. If you're on board with that, let's figure out a way to move this vision. Because as Simone says, we do need to teach people how to fish. This has to move from beyond charity, and that's definitely one of Cheryl's aims. It's not just to just give people things. It's to give people things so they have opportunity to succeed on their own. So yes, I encourage everybody, however you get involved, whether it's skill set, whether it's donation, whether it's you sharing this post, whether it's you sharing the HEDY post, liking the Facebook page, sending an encouraging word to these ladies and just thanking them, asking them, hey, do you need gas money to get you to the school to go ahead and take that video, to go ahead and bring that backpack? Any little thing. Do you want a ride? Do you want us to help you lift these things and take them into the schools? Anything you can do is helpful to the cause, but is helpful beyond just the initial, let's do this charitable work. As I said at the very beginning, this is not just charity. This is the ability for a child to succeed in school because they have the resources they need. So we do have to think about it in that term, like you said, Simone, but we also need the human beings in order to execute it.
Yeah, very well said. And before I come to you, Andrew, and then Cheryl, and the issue is there is so much immediate need, right? So like Junella was just saying, yes, it's a higher level thinking in terms of, well, the next level should be teaching people to fish, teaching people to be self-reliant so that they can afford their own supplies. But when you're so inundated with all the immediate needs, it doesn't give you the headspace to be able to think at the next level. And that is why Again, we need others to come on board, and I'm going to share all the contact information in just a little bit. But Andrea, you wanted to chime in on teaching a man to fish?
Well, yes, and I would agree too that we need this to grow up. We need more humans in there. We need more people. We need more folks to come on board in order for us to achieve that level of teaching a human to fish, in order that the charity thing is sort of, well, reduced, so to speak. And in so doing, I make a special plea because, yes, we are appealing to the diasporans out there, but we also appealing to the locals. We ask the locals, don't be left out. Is there something you can do? Anything you can do? You get in touch, you get on board with HEDYs, because the locals are very important as well. We on Dominica, because we are there to see the immediate needs of anyone who needs the assistance. So it's important for the locals to come on board. Whatever capacity that you're able, as Junella said, come on board. We need folks. We need this to grow. And I have a feeling tonight after this program, we're gonna have some people on board because this is positive, and this is not about Cheryl, who is the founder. And we know that Cheryl is shy, so she
Whatever,
has folks.
Andrea.
She has folks like us who will bring out the message with her and for her. And my appeal this evening is to the locals. Please get on board, and whatever you can, please reach out to us, and we will do the rest.
Yes,
Okay.
excellent. Cheryl, anything you would like to share?
Not really.
Yeah, I know it's overwhelming, right? It's really overwhelming when you think of all you have to handle, and then you're thinking, "Wow, there's another level."
Well, for the school feeding program, we're looking at giving the school $300 voucher, grocery voucher per month. As you said, because I didn't say it, I think you said at the introduction that we have already, we have one lady on board that is willing, she has agreed to do the first 4 months with Mon Prospect, but we have no donor yet for Warner, so we want to help Warner as well, and for the single mothers, we also do $300 worth of grocery voucher. We ask our donors to partner with us half, so if they're willing to give 150 EC, or 75 US, or if they're willing to give all 300, it's good.
Now, let me ask you this: how were you able to convince the supermarkets to provide those vouchers?
Well, I have another person which didn't come on board tonight.
Networking,
My
networking.
right hand. She's more shy than me. So she said, I'm not coming, I'm not coming. Anyway, she just went to the management of Astafans, and I said
Wow.
that we are trying to do this with the single moms, and instead of giving them the money, we would rather give them the vouchers. And they assisted us. They started doing the vouchers. Sometimes it take 2 days, with Astafans. Greens Wholesale give us the same day. Was the one on the different Fresh Market give
Fresh
us the
market.
same day, but we just went to the management and spoke to them about
Wow,
it and what we wanted to do, and they just agreed.
that's really
And
impressive.
I mean, a voucher easy to make,
Right, right.
So they just, when they tell us give us 2 days, Fresh Market ask us to give them 2 days, for them to work with management and etc., etc. And our first donation to single mothers, we gave 4 single mothers, which was 1,200 EC dollars. So we bought 1,200 EC dollars vouchers from Astafans, and they gave us 4 vouchers. So what I do to make it easier for my person on the ground, I make Astafans hold on to the vouchers, and I ask the young ladies to go to Astafans with their IDs to pick up their vouchers. So right then and then you pick up your voucher, you can just shop one time, and go
Mm-hmm.
buy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I do it with Fresh Market to Robinsons
Mm-hmm.
and Greens Wholesale.
Right. And let me just invite everyone who's listening, everyone on Facebook and YouTube can see it. But if you're listening, go ahead and grab a pen, paper, grab the notes section of your cell phone, because I'm going to be sharing the information on the backpacks and how you can get in touch with Cheryl in general. So I'll give you a couple of minutes to grab a pen and paper before I share that information. But with all the need we're seeing in Dominica, and this is a question to everyone, with all the need we're seeing in Dominica, how do you determine who you are going to help? Because, for example, we know there's great need in the Kalinago territory. That's a place that always comes up. We hear about Silver Lake. We hear about Gutter Village. So with all the need that exists on the ground, how do you make a determination of who is priority in terms of receiving assistance?
As I said earlier, for the school supplies, we go through the principals.
All the
Also,
principals of all the schools?
yes,
Oh.
I go for the principals. Sometimes the schools are recommended to me by different people that know that I do that. And they tell me this school is really in need, and I investigate about the school. Then I would call the principal. I would ask them, what is their need, and then from that I would determine if that is the school that I would want to sponsor for the year. Um, for the single mothers, people recommend them or refer them to me. But I would still investigate, As I say, I have my people on the ground. I have Andrea, I have Connie, I have Anne. Junella is mainly my Facebook buddy. I am the marketing buddy. And I would make them call. Sometimes I call, sometimes, well, I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people. I know people in Fly City. I know people in
Right. So recommendations.
So I know plenty people.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So I would call the people and tell them, Simon, Simon Matthew, Junella Daniels, what is the situation? What do you think about her?
mm-hmm.
You know? And then they would tell me whatever, and then I would say, okay. All right, so what you think if I would to help that person? You think that person is not a person that trying to make a bubble. People like to make bubble already.
Mm-hmm.
They checking you helping so you can help them too and for them to make bubble. And they tell me, no man, she really in need, or he really need. I help single fathers too.
Good.
Yeah, I've helped single
Good.
fathers too. I help a single father pay his daughter's school fees, his light bill. I help single fathers because they are
Good.
single
Good.
fathers. You
Yeah.
know, they are
Yeah.
single fathers. So I help couple single fathers already with school stuff, with groceries, bills, school fees, graduation fees, to help their kids and stuff like that. Um, but identifying people that really in need is not hard
Right.
because I know a lot of people, and as I say, I love people. So I know a lot of people. I know people Jodel, I know people Granby, Scott, that's over here, doesn't name it. Capiche,
Mm-hmm.
because I know
Mm-hmm.
people part too.
Right.
It's just a simple phone call or maybe just a text or, and say, call me now. I need to talk to you about something. And then
Mm-hmm.
I ask, John Doe, what do you think about him? How many kids he has, and what is his situation? So it gives me, it's easier for me to determine whether that person really in need or not, and then I move from there.
Right, right. Yes, I'm going to share the information in a minute. But while I'm sharing it, what I want everyone to think about is, what is your vision for HEDY? Where do you see this going? What do you see as the potential? So I want to give you a couple of minutes to kind of think about that. And then when we come back, you can share on that particular topic. So what is your vision as this organization continues to journey along? What is your vision for HEDY. And also, if I might also make an appeal, again, right now we're not in a position where this organization is necessarily teaching people to fish. But I think in a small way, I want to appeal to you to put an element of community service somewhere in there, right? So for those who are receiving the supplies, any little thing, maybe say to a young child, did you wash the dishes today, right? Did you help your younger sibling with their homework? Did you sweep the yard? Because I think we are losing that goodness spirit in Dominica that we know was the foundation of our upbringing, right? I always go back to that story, and my mom is under life. She can testify to that we grew up very poor, and a household of 9 people to feed. Yet my mom fed the neighbors every single day. Don't ask me how she did it. Don't ask me how the fish multiplied and the bread multiplied, but she was able to feed the neighbors every day without asking for anything in return. And that is the goodness spirit. You hear people talking about neighbors helping to build each other's homes, helping. My mom tells me all the time, her mom would leave them in the yard as young children and would simply say to the neighbor, throw an eye on the kids for me. And the kids were safe, right? So we're losing that goodness spirit. So I think as part of your mission, you should at least think about it and brainstorm about it. How can you, with your impact in the community, reinvigorate that goodness spirit? Because it has to start with the young ones. It has to start with the children. So just something to think about as you're continuing with the process and as you continue to grow and evolve, because I think it will serve them well if children realize it's not just only about me. I am part of a larger society. I am part of a larger community, and I ought to be contributing in a meaningful way to that community. So just a thought I wanted to share. But here's the information. I hope those who are listening, you were able to grab a pen and paper so you can write down the information. So let me just read this first, and then I'll give you the information. So HEDY Student Backpack Drive is underway. Help us provide 500 students in Dominica with backpacks and school supplies. Donate backpack supplies. We prefer you buy and ship directly to our address. So let me repeat this again. We prefer you to buy and ship directly to our address. To get the shipping address, please contact us via WhatsApp. And that WhatsApp number is area code 929 955 6850. Again, the WhatsApp number to get the address to send in your donations, 929 955 6850, or email helping educate Dominica Youth at gmail.com. Helping educate Dominica Youth at gmail.com. If you would like to send a cash donation, listen very carefully. Cash App is the $C Plumber. So does it have to be capital C?
Yes, capital C.
Okay.
And 1 M for plumber.
Okay, so the Cash App, the capital C PLUMER. So that's Cash App. Zelle, the same phone number, 929 955 6850. PayPal, V Emmanuel. So it's V, the letter V, EMANUEL 01 at yahoo.com. And Venmo, Vanessa-Plummer, that is VANESSA-PLUMMER 3. And if you're in Dominica, the Mo Banking. So again, if you're in Dominica and you would like to donate via Mo Banking, listen carefully. Area code 767 276 5268. So again, 767-276-5267. And the account number is 825-000068. Again, 825-000068. So a lot of information. And of course, guys, you know how to get in touch with me. If you missed any of the information, don't forget, if you are on Facebook, YouTube, or if you're listening on the radio, you can always catch the replay of this program to see all the wonderful work that HEDY is doing. I talked about it in the beginning of the program, and to see the contact information. So just simply go to YouTube or Facebook and type in Q95 FM radio. Again, Q95 FM radio, and you will be able to catch the replay. Or you can send me an email, pushpast10@gmail.com, pushpast10@gmail.com. So ladies, over to you, your vision as you continue to journey along. Let's start with Andrea. What is your vision for HEDY? You're muted.
Sorry. My vision is to see HEDY increase in numbers, both locals and the diaspora, so that HEDYs will not have to struggle to come up with funds or donations or assistance to help those in need. So my vision is just an increase in numbers in terms of assistance coming into HEDYs.
Excellent. Very well said. Junella?
Well, like I said before, it's really us being the bridge between Dominica and our diaspora. So I'm strongly hoping and encouraging people as well to join an ecosystem. Now, if it is, as you say, lots of people are in their own silo doing their own things, well, partner together with HEDY. You don't necessarily have to change the fact that you want to run an organization of yourself. That's fine. What can you do together with HEDY? So, for instance, the new arm of providing food in schools, at the 2 schools that we're aiming at this year, you can get on board as being a sort of Meals on Wheels that delivers these services and these foods to these schools, so that HEDY no longer has to do so much of that, but HEDY can be the front of receiving the necessary donations, passing that on to you as your own organization and charity, who goes directly to the school, interacts with the school and the principals. And that includes farmers as well, because we have a lot of farmers on island who are literally having to waste a lot of food that doesn't make it to the market. Well, is there a way to offer that sort of medium conduit? Can you provide the transportation to go pick up from these farmers, a network of farmers, for instance, who might be interested in pooling together? And are you able, as a transportation person, to come on board and go get those foods and bring it to the schools where those foods could be utilized? So, you know, what I would love to see as a vision is people understanding we are all part of this ecosystem, and that we are all HEDY in a sense, but don't necessarily have to become some official partner of HEDY or have to become an official donor, but we can find ways to partner with HEDY in the sense of what am I doing as an individual, as an organization, as a business that maybe could be helping what the cause is that HEDY's trying to move forward. And again, particularly as we're having the move towards the food drive, this is an ongoing thing. The commitment so far has only got a couple of months, I believe, for Mont Prosper. And we still need the ongoing donations for another school, and we need that going on every single month. So I really hope and that the larger vision of what HEDY is capable of doing can be taken on board by other charities, by other organizations, by individuals, by businesses, so that we can run together to be that bridge on island and off island.
Certainly. And before I come to you, Cheryl and Connie, Janelle, I think I have your phone number, but can you post it in the private chat for me? Because I really like what you're doing with bridging the Bridge Dominica Diaspora Partnership. And I would really like to be involved in that because I think it is about building capacity, right? Building capacity in so many ways. Because I say it all the time, we have the pieces of the puzzle. We need to put the puzzle together for creating positive impact in Dominica. And I want to make sure I got all the comments on Facebook. Angela Perusa, Cheryl Plummer, continued blessing, Oswald Bertrand. I do agree. Let's teach people to fish. So the question is, how do we make that cultural shift? Oswald, a very important question. I would love to have you on the program. You can email me at pushpast10@gmail.com if you would like to join the conversation. And Anthony Simon says the family structure has changed in Dominica, just returning after 3 months on island after a number of years living in Atlanta, Georgia. So, Connie, let me come over to you. What is your vision for HEDY?
Well, my vision for HEDY is to see more people come on board. More people come on board locally, regionally. More people come on board. Huh?
Internationally.
Yeah, internationally. More people come on board. And as you talk about the school feeding program, and Junella mentioned that as well, talking about the farmers. Well, in Mount Prosper, there are farmers, vegetable farmers. I know when it comes to vegetables and our seasoning, that wouldn't be a problem. That wouldn't be a problem. More or less, we just need the food. Need the food. The supermarkets can come on board because after 4 months, what is going to happen? I mean, it's a school feeding program initiated by the government, but we need people to help also. We need people to help. We need more people to come on board to help because after 4 months, we still have to eat. The government will still be providing, but the more we have, the merrier because we have more schools to supply. And it's a very good thing. But I see HEDY to become a big thing. Just more people on board.
Yeah, and I'm hoping after this program, we have a lot of interest and a lot of people are calling that number. Let me repeat the number. That is your private number, Cheryl, the 929?
Yes.
Yes. So again, if you're interested in making a meaningful contribution, you've been sending those barrels of supply to Dominica and having somebody in Dominica paying those port fees, that is an area HEDY can help in. So that number again, 929-955-6850. And that is available on WhatsApp. So Cheryl, did you imagine when you started this backpack initiative, did you anticipate it would grow to where it is today? And what is your vision for the future?
Yes, because I am Cheryl Plummer.
Hey, I like that.
Yes, I expected it to grow and even grow more and more and more and more. My vision. My vision is to see each and every vulnerable child given the opportunity at a sound education. That's my vision. Even the vulnerable adults to get the help that they need. The elderlies to get the help that they need, because imagine working until you're 65 and you retire, and then not even adult pamper you can afford, because some people work for minimum wage and maybe they don't work enough, so they cannot get, what do you get from Social Security, Junella?
Yeah, the retirement pension.
Yes, you cannot get pension, you don't
Government
qualify,
support. Yeah.
and you just need a pamper. You know, you just need probably a wipe, but you cannot afford it, you know. So my vision is to see every vulnerable adult, child, children, to see the schools, the principals smiling because the teachers, because their children have books and pencils they can write, you know, because some kids come to school without bags. Before I was doing that for some of the schools, you know, some of the teachers tell me they don't even have pencils to give the kids. So to some of the schools like Bellevue Shope, I think I did, not think, but I did. SMP, SMP, we didn't put SMP name on that list, but oh my god, my battery's low. But SMP, I did SMP, I gave them school supplies to the school. So the principal gave to the different classes, to the different teachers. So if a child was in need, um, if a child was in need, then the teacher would make sure the child get what they need. You know, so my vision is just that every child, no child left behind.
Fine.
You know, whether it's college, whether it's preschool, whether it's high school, just to put a smile on a child's face, you know, that is my vision, you know, and to the parent to be okay. Oh, my child, I don't want to send my child to school because he haven't got a bag, you know. Oh, I don't have food to give them, you know. It don't have to be me that giving them, you know. Everybody can help a hand, you know, wherever they can help, you know. It's not everybody that poor, you know. We have poor people, we have middle class, and we have rich people in Dominica, you know. But we have selfish people. We have a lot of selfish people, you know. And some people will tell me certain things that I will not repeat here, you know. When I say, you know, this girl need a bread for her child. Oh, where the father? Or James, the father was there. I wouldn't ask you for a bread for the child. What's he? You know, I understand you asking about the father, but let's give the child the bread first, and then after we'll talk about the father, you know. But they don't do that. Let me try to get my charger. They don't
Well,
do that.
before your battery dies, Cheryl, I just want to say once again, congratulations, God's blessing on you, that you continue to champion this very important cause, that He gives you strength, guidance, energy to continue this journey, because this is very important work. That you continue to do for our brothers and sisters in Dominica. But I wanted to throw out just one other question, and more of a statement than a question, and anyone can feel free to chime in. That notion that when you are making donations in Dominica, you should not film it, you should not put it on social media.
Oh my God, Simon,
I
I
want to
get
dispute
sorry,
that
Simon,
because that is so incorrect. You want to say
sorry,
something, Cheryl?
yes, sorry, yes. Let me tell you something. I get plenty of before that, eh?
Yes.
Telling me don't let the right hand see what the left hand do.
Oh, that is
This
such
and that and
that
that.
is so
But when I
wrong.
do it, it encourage people to donate.
Exactly.
Imagine I get donors, people that I don't even know, has no affiliation to Dominica. Just
Exactly.
because they see what I post on Helping Educate Dominica page on Facebook. And in saying that, I want to thank all the donors that have already donated, that have helped me on my journey from 2011 to now. And all those that are willing to come on board, I welcome you. Even though it's a 1 cent, all you can donate, send it, it will add up, and we will help a child in need.
Yeah, and I saw Asa Banton getting blows on social media for posting his Change for Change initiative. And I was thinking, wow, this is so wrong. You have to show, even if, I don't encourage maybe showing the children's faces because, they're young children and I don't believe in showing young children on social media, but show that you're giving the principal, show that you're making a donation to the school, because that is how you encourage other people to come on board. So let us squash this nonsense about, the right hand shouldn't know what the left hand is doing, and all this nonsense I see being flung on social media about not broadcasting the important work that you're doing. Because if Asa Banton wasn't showing it on social media, I wouldn't know he was doing Change for Change. And when I'm in Dominica, I wouldn't know to make a contribution to his program, right?
That's right.
So that is important promotion. Anybody else wants to share quickly on that topic before we wind down?
I think part of the problem of our culture is that we almost hold ourselves back. The
Mm-hmm.
whole concept of we should not know what the left hand and right hand is doing is why a lot of people are in poverty. Why there are a lot of underprivileged kids going without, and no one knows that they're going without. A teacher and a principal are a great resource to us because they get to see what's happening. When you drop that child off, you no longer have that control to have that picture that you're doing okay at home, that you're doing okay in your neighborhood, because a teacher can see. A teacher is spending more time often with a child than a parent is because of the work needs of that parent, of the shared need that the child needs to be in an educational setting in order to be set up in this kind of system that we have. So the idea that we shouldn't know what we're doing, well, that's why some of these kids have been suffering and doing without and failing school because they lack things. So if somebody can pinpoint it and allow us the opportunity to come into that child's life, to come into that parent's life and provide that assistance, where's the harm in showing, hey, that person who helped us get that donation to that child, here it is, it's happened. So please do some more so that we can do this level of work to assist people who are in positions where they cannot help themselves often. And yes, we can get into the conversations, as Cheryl said, about why they got there in the first place. But unless you give a person something to eat while they're hungry, there's no need to talk about the fact that they should have the grocery store and they should have had a job. And that kind of conversation is after you fed the person, after you've done what is necessary to keep the situation at bay from harming them. Then their mind is open to how did you get there in the first place and how can we assist you to stop being in this place. Cheryl, as you heard, is not just doing these donations in school, not just moving towards this food drive, but if she has individual recommendations made to her, she is going in and trying to help people to do what you said, Simone, which is learn how to fish. Now, there are always going to be some people who don't take that on board, and it's just charity for them. It's just a way to get money, and then that looks like you're hustling people for funds and just to support that kind of sort of laissez-faire attitude to life. But at the end of the day, the bulk of the people who are helped, the majority are helped because we understand and know what's happening, and we are able to tell donors about this by showing what is possible to do when it is the right hand and the left hand work together on a full body of human being to help another human being. And that's the reality. Our culture is not built like that, to see charity as a form of teaching a man how to fish, but it can become that if we remove the stigma of charity, if we remove the reality check that we are some people, as Cheryl said, in poverty. We are some people in middle class. We are some rich people. All of us can work together so that no one does without. Why should anyone do without in Dominica? Dominica is practically a small town in terms of thinking about a U.S. town. It's practically a small town. So why is anybody having to send their kid to school without a backpack when other people can do that? And the only way somebody knows that that child needs a backpack is for people like Cheryl and the organization of HEDY highlighting, hey, there's a need here and we fulfill it. Come on board with us and let's continue to help people so they no longer have that need. And like I said, the poor you'll have with you always. It is what it is. But the stigma about poverty, that needs to end in Dominica because all of us are, as we say, Guayan in some way, when the rich have their own problems.
Right.
So maybe they're suffering from mental health over, rather than wallet health.
Right.
But everybody has their own issues and problems. And unless we highlight these problems as solvable by action, then we'll get nowhere. So we
Right,
do need to
certainly.
work on the stigma of what
Mhm.
that looks like, and this idea that we can't somehow show that we're doing these things. I mean,
Right.
there's a tone and an attitude to it, isn't there? You know,
Uh-huh.
when you see Cheryl's first videos, or when we convinced her to be in these videos of donating these items, you can see her cringing.
Right. And you know, Cheryl, just don't engage.
Right.
If they come and they're posting their negativity about
And
the right hand
she's getting
shouldn't
more
see what their left hand, just don't engage with the
because she's
comments. Just
getting more
delete them.
because she knows
Yeah.
what was coming from our people. We're just
Yeah,
doing
one
ourselves.
second. I think we have
Our
a call.
people are doing the make-we.
Yes, I think we have a call coming in real quick as we wind down. Go ahead, Lambi.
Caller, please go ahead.
Uh-oh. Okay. All right. So, guys, we have to wind down. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the important work that you're doing. And this is how we continue to build capacity using Roots Connections. I hope that folks will reach out to you, because we continue to say, you know, the labor is a lot, but the laborers are few. So we need more people, men, women, young and old, to come on board to assist with the important mission. And so we continue to facilitate partnerships, because again, I'm hoping to be a part of what you're doing. I'm also hoping to connect with Junella to be a part of what she's doing. And so we continue to facilitate partnerships, especially as it relates to agriculture. Because if you recall, a couple of programs ago, I mentioned that Petrocab and George for George Shipping Agency had collaborated with Barnes Farms. And now we see another important partnership that has been created from our last program. So our last episode, we had the Diaspora Arts and Craft program last time, and we had Shanna, let's make sure I get her name right, Shanna Joseph from Glamorous Acres Farms in Florida. And since that time, I have put her in touch with Petra, and so we have yet another collaboration. So the conversations are good, but what I am most interested in is what happens after our conversations. And I always say to my audience who are listening and watching, I want you, as you look at these programs, to think about what role can I play with what is going on? What can I do to turn that burning passion I have for Dominica, where we're lambasting everybody on Facebook? How can we turn that passion into action? So here is yet another opportunity for you to get involved, to make a change in Dominica. So I'm very proud of that collaboration that we are now seeing continues to grow in the agriculture sector, and now even beyond agriculture with our program this evening, because we know we need those markets. We need those markets for Dominica produce and Dominica agro-processed produce as well. So before I head out, let us remember to say Happy Father's Day to all the wonderful fathers of the land, Dominica, the Caribbean region, internationally. We do have some wonderful fathers who are part of our family, so don't forget to wish them Happy Father's Day. And also remember to wish those who serve in the role of father Happy Father's Day, including the single moms, because we all know that some of the single moms are serving the dual role of mother and father. So happy Father's Day to all the deserving men. And we continue to be grateful on this journey as we continue to harness the power of technology, international radio, social media, and emerging technology to leverage the skills and expertise of our Dominican and Caribbean brothers and sisters at home and abroad. And of course, you saw how we did that very well here. We encourage you to follow Q95 FM radio and Push Past 10 on Facebook and YouTube, and click the notification button so you will never miss when we go live. Of course, you know how to contact me. If you too are doing some important work for the benefit of Dominica and our Caribbean people worldwide, don't forget, you can email me at pushpast10@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you. So again, ladies, I hope next time we're here, I say ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the important work that you're doing with HEDY. I wish you continuing success. So if you tuned in late, we were joined by helping educate Dominica Youth HEDY with their backpack collection drive. And our overall topic was how are we watering the seeds for progress by supporting our Dominican students? We were joined by the CEO and founder, Ms. Cheryl Plummer, as well as Junella Daniels. Connie, what was your last name again, Connie?
Ofa.
Ofa, and Ms. Andrew Charles, and this is what you call collaboration. Dominicans out in the diaspora as well as Dominicans on the ground joining together to build the capital needed to advance Dominica. So ladies, you can feel free to unmute your mics as we say farewell to the audience and we thank them for listening. Let's see who we have. UI says find a way to continue the women's panel, possibly a monthly discussion. Anthony, happy Father's Day. Peter Thomas, good evening. Keep up the good fight. So say bye to everyone. Lambi, showing Mr. G, thank you for providing this platform for us to come together.
Simon, one last thing.
Yes, Cheryl.
Our deadline for collection is July 15th.
Yes.
For this year. Okay, for this
Very
year, for the
important.
backpacks is July 15th. So
yes, so
try to
guys,
send in your donations by July 15th so we can have it in Dominica to give it to the kids for the beginning of the school term.
Yes, very important. So don't forget. Thank you for reminding me, Cheryl. The deadline for the book packs, if you want the backpacks, if you want the kids to get them in time for September, is July 15th. And again, if you missed any of the information, you need that information of how to make your contribution, go on YouTube and Facebook and type in Q95 FM Radio. Ladies, thank you. And I look forward to keeping in touch with you as you continue this important work. So have a good night. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Simone.
Bye, Simone. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you, ladies.
Everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Roots Connections on Q. 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. every other Wednesday on Q95, the big station. Dominicans journeyed beyond our shores for decades in search of economic opportunities and educational advancement. Many are ready to give back